guys, CP the Tool Addict here, coming back at you. Got a quick video about we're gonna do a video today is that what type of mechanic should you be looking into being, and I'm gonna give you my personal perspective and outlook on the future of being a mechanic, and we're gonna discuss. Actually, I guess I can't discuss it when I'm talking to the video and nobody's here to respond, but in the comment box right down below there, you can talk about it. And what we're going to talk about is it better to be a heavy-duty mechanic, a diesel mechanic? Is it better to be an airplane mechanic? What type of mechanic is probably going to be the industry leader for you if you're looking for a career? And what I suggest, okay? I guess I don't know enough about being an airplane mechanic, but I know they do pretty well, and it's a pretty good job. But there's all sorts of mechanics you can be. But let's just say heavy end would require you to be any type of diesel mechanic. Working on trains, semis, equipment. Right now, I would say that industry is capturing the majority of people, and I think that the automotive industry is getting a backseat, hardcore to that, and that is a big misconception in a lot of people's parts as to how that's going to end up. Now, let me give you some insight and what I believe and my goal as starting, as being in a business where I'm trying to build technicians and open the doors up for people, and what my goal is and how I feel. As a mechanic, working for somebody and working for a person, for relatively most of my life, I can tell you that the flat rate system only works in dealerships. It is not something, and I'm not going to get into a big argument about this flat rate system because I've been there and I don't care. I really don't care about these. I don't care about anybody's arguments about it. I really don't care because I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pay my guys like that. I'm not going to waste my time like that. In a dealership setting where you have the same cars that come in over and over and over again, it's great for flat rate people because they can literally make 80 hours on 40 hours of time. So in my opinion, they're robbing the customer essentially because if the job's easier, then why shouldn't it get paid in quarterly? And most flat rate guys are probably just losing their mind right now. But honestly, I remember back in the day, when I would do a ton of GM alternators, I think they called for like 9/10 to change an alternator, and I could literally do them in like 15 minutes. So I would end up charging people right around 45 minutes, maybe a half hour at most, a lot of times, just because people say, well, you're giving away money. I wasn't giving away money. I was doing things fair because I made it up on other ways. If there was a situation that came in where like changing a fuel pump, GM's had a big problem in the 90s about fuel pumps going out, and they were just, you took a shot on these things. Unless you got an AC Delco, half the time, if it wasn't available, you were kind of just SOL, and you put a fuel pump in, and it is what it is. But nonetheless, even now, doing jobs such as what I'm about to do on this PT Cruiser timing belt, it's unless you do them over and over again, you're not super good on them. Now, you can beat the book time on those pretty easy if you know what you're doing. And but if it's your first time and you're taking a first crack at it, and you're an independent shop where you don't get the same cars every day, you're going to get screwed on flat rate every day, all day long. It's just, to me, flat rate works great in dealerships where you have parts departments and those types of people to back you up. And this isn't a video about flat rate. What this is a video about is about paying, where the money can be made in the future coming up, and how if you're looking for a type of direction to go in your career, why, there's a lot of people that go in the diesel mechanic field right now because they are getting paid very well, and it is a good industry to be into, and some of the stuff isn't, I'm going to tell you right now, guys, anybody that wants, there's probably going to be diesel mechanics that are going to throw themselves down, but I can promise you this, I can work on diesels, if need be, and I can tell you they're not near as bad. You come diagnose some of the cars that I do with some of the wiring problems. You find CAN bus communication issues. You go through all these steps. You chase down these wires, and I can promise you, I know there's some in the diesels, but these automobiles have a lot of modules, a lot of computers in them. And, when you have a module for your windows, your radio, your heater, it gets pretty dicey some days. And it's very stressful to have to find these problems because you really sometimes feel like you're just searching down a rabbit hole. Now, that's why there's a lot of information out there, such as, direct hit, all that, and stuff like that. And I know there's not as much on diesel stuff, but I'm not going to hear it argue because I appreciate diesel mechanics the same way I do auto mechanics. I'm not picking on diesel mechanics, so you guys don't take it personal. What you do is also a job that I don't want to do. I don't want to work on big, heavy, greasy stuff. I like doing wiring. So the difference is, in my opinion, in my view, I think my job is easier, where sometimes you might think that your job is easier than my job. So, it's all perspective. And that's exactly what, I'm trying to talk about in this video is perspective of, having the ability to see what's going to happen in the future. Now, I think that auto mechanics over the years have been screwed by shop owners. That's right, I said it! Oh, God, there's probably somebody right now that's going, you bastard. Yes, that's true. Shop owners are crooks, in my opinion. There's a lot of crooks out there. The mechanics aren't bad, but they have made mechanics look bad because of how they have screwed over the customer and the mechanic. And if you have that type of mechanic or that type of shop owner, then, I feel bad for you. There's been a lot of people that have been just, they've been railroaded. The mechanic is the guy that does the work here, guys. And, I understand the business aspect. It's a lot of money to run a business. I understand that. Completely do. And there's nothing wrong with a shop owner saying, well, I front all the money and I'm the guy behind there. Well, actually, you're just the guy that actually signs paychecks and sits on your ass and tries to tout that like it's some kind of, a holy grail of thing. And me, as being a guy that's a business owner, I don't want to be that way. I would rather be out in the shop with my guys and then do stuff that I need to on the office side. I want to interact the whole way. Leadership to me in the automotive industry means that you got to be the guy that's with your guys and build a team like that. And that's exactly what I like. That's the kind of business that I want to run. I want to be the guy that not only I can help a guy out, and then I can also build his confidence, and we can work as a team and build something. And not only that, I want him to go home at the end of the day and say, man, I really like my job. My boss is sometimes a dickhead, but he's fair. And being fair is the most, that's the biggest thing for me of anything. So, to my original point, do I think that diesel mechanics are being in the diesel mechanic industry? Do I think that's the place for somebody to pick right now? Well, I can tell you that most of the diesel trade schools are full, and the automotive mechanic schools are not full. So there's your insight right there to tell you right there what's going to be happening. Now, I believe that I'm auto mechanic. My goal is to make sure that the guys that are working for me, they get 35% of the profit. So if you have $100 billable hour on a job, that means that I want them to have $35 of that billable job. I think that an auto mechanic is worth every bit as a diesel mechanic, as much as I think a diesel mechanic's worth every bit as an auto mechanic. I don't think there should be this separation across the board. I really don't. I don't understand how this happens, but turning a wrench realistically is still turning a wrench. Now, everybody has different skill sets. So, diag guys are very scarce, very rare. A lot of people there's a lot of people out there that are having hard times diagnosing cars. I have hard times diagnosing cars. I have, moments of just complete, I'm an idiot, it's just demoralizing. You're getting, you're wrecking yourself. I go home sometimes and think about this and search and Google and do all this research. And you literally spend sometimes hours upon hours, even after you're not working on the job, trying to pick your brain. And it is very, if you're passionate about your job like I am, you want to do a good job and you want to show people how good your skills are. It's not that easy. But that being said, that field will be a top paying field, I promise you. You will see in the next 5 years the automotive industry will rise up, and that these shop owners are going to have to give in. There's no help out there to be found. So this is where I'm, kind of ending my whole spiel on everything I talked about, which I hope is making sense to you guys. So, diesel mechanics get paid good and everybody runs that trade. Nobody wants to do flat rate, blah, blah, blah. But unfortunately, there's no mechanics out there, guys. What your shop owner isn't telling you, maybe in your area you might have a good following of auto mechanics, but I can tell you the trade is suffering right now across the United States. And if you want to make more money, the automotive field will be paying you, because people need to drive cars, and there's a lot more cars out there than there is diesel equipment. I'm not saying that there's not diesel equipment, there's not a need for diesel mechanics. I'm saying that the diesel mechanic trade is overpopulated, okay? And the automotive trade is underpopulated. Skilled trades, period, are not getting people involved that need to, and that this is your time to jump on board and take this opportunity to start dealing or getting into automotive repair. Because I can promise you, if I had a good diag guy, I almost, an hourly wage for a guy that's really good with diagnosing stuff and good with computers, could make possibly up to 40 to, even maybe with bonuses up to towards $50 an hour with me. And I don't think I would have a problem paying that. Because just the simplicity of having somebody who understands, and I don't have to do everything or, do the diagnosis and me pick my brain apart, invaluable. And when you have that kind of reputation at your shop, and a shop owner smart enough to recognize that, then you're going to make a lot more money. A shop owner is going to make money. When you pick a place where you're working, you should think of it as a business partnership, okay? And that you're going into business with your boss, and that you've agreed to work with him and help him build his business, and in return, he's going to take care of you as far as, you having a good lifestyle. It all goes back to the same theory, guys. Happy wife, happy life. Well, happy employee, happy life. Making people happy, and it's not always easy. Granted, I get it. You got people who complain, and you give them, and they want to take, and all that stuff, But, that's kind of the nature of the beast. But think about it, guys. Next time you're thinking about you're looking at for a career, you younger guys, if you're watching this channel, or your kids are watching this channel, and they're thinking about getting into diesel trade, I urge you to, maybe recruit yourself to an automotive trade, and you can also, get free schooling. Pretty easy now. Not only that, you could probably almost sell yourself to an automotive repair shop before you even go to school. You could set your whole career up, I think, honestly, just from day one. Because this is what I'm doing is I'm trying to find young people who want to go in the automotive trade, and I'm going to give them opportunities to work for me into, I'm going to give them a sign-on bonus. That's relevant now. I mean, you can get up to $5,000 as a sign-on bonus. And it's just in my area, but this is a huge opportunity for you young people or your kids to get into something where they're going to be able to make a fair amount of money with a 2-year trade school associate's degree, and also probably make more money than their buddies that go to college. I'm not saying that going to a 4-year college isn't great, but everybody wants to be a computer programmer. Nobody wants to be a mechanic. You do the math on it. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell. Let me know what you think down in there. If this video you thought was interesting and had good information on it, like I said, I always like to hear from you guys, and I appreciate everything that you guys do. Love the comments. Just you guys, I can't thank you enough. I wish I could, buy you guys all dinner sometimes, and whenever you guys are commenting on my channel. I know there's guys that are negative, and there's guys that are, salty about, they think that because I have a YouTube channel and all that business, to me, this is kind of a hobby. I like to shoot guns, I like to work on cars, and I like tools. I guess I'm kind of a salt of the earth type guy in some retrospect. I just like The stuff that I don't think I got to do any of this that much when I was a kid, so that's probably why I like it more. But anyways, rambling on. I tried to make this kind of short, nice 15-minute video. Remember, guys, appreciate you watching always. Look forward to talking to you again on the next one.